ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं वातरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः गुकारो अन्धकारो वैरुकारस्तन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः सुष्ठुवांसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यतायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ प्रज्ञानां शुप्रदानै स्थिरचरनिकरव्याप्तिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्तविष्ठान् पुनरभिदिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् सुविधिमधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः मायासंज्ञास्तुर्यं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तन्नतोऽस्मि यो विश्वात्मा विदिजविषयान् प्राश्य भोगान् स्तविष्टान् पश्चाच्चान्यान् सुमिति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेन सूक्ष्मान् सर्वानेतान् पुनरभिशनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पार्थसौ न स्तुरीयः. We are proceeding in Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad and we are in the third section of Māṇḍūkya kārikā. Kārikā is important in the tradition while studying Māṇḍūkya Upaniṣad. We already saw fifth verse and I explained you where Adi Shankara has given detailed explanations regarding the another schools of thoughts or philosophies. They are called in Sanskrit Purvapakshis who raises argument regarding what is been presented in Vedanta. They also accept Vedas, still their philosophy has different way of understanding the truth. And their truth is not what we are having studied in the Vedanta, which is super consciousness, which is all pervading. For them, something other is their goal and other is their central theme. So they are called Purva Pakshis, one who is sitting in front of us and who raises question occasionally wherever there is a top most subject matter comes and they raises the question. So here in the fifth verse, I already mentioned you, yatha ekasmin ghatakashe rejo dhūmādhiparyute na sarve samprayujyante tadvad jiva sukhadibhi. I already explained this verse. When there are a lot of pot spaces in one single space, when the pots are created and every pot will have an occupying space in their belly, they are called pot space. When the pot spaces are many and one single space being seen as different pot spaces, even though there is only one single space, and in that single space, when an occupied pot will also contain a space inside the belly of the pot, it is not separate from the real space. The real space itself is being converted of the due to the presence of a pot into a pot space. Just like we have a space and we make a house, and in that house we convert that spaces into different names: bathroom, kitchen, work area, bedroom, laundry place, lot of places inside that same space. Similarly, pots are being created, and in that pot there are some spaces, and those spaces are being seen as divided from the real space by the other schools of thoughts, because they accept one of the Purvapakshi, the person who is right in front of the Vedantin, ask the question that how can there be different pots, because we already accepted that there are so many souls in this world. Similarly, there are different pot spaces in the world. They are all confused in terms of the reality. We will not involve in their question and answers. While we go detail in studies of every verses, we will go through that. For the time being, we will go through the top layer of the questions and answers. One person is called Sankhya, who is questioning the verse, or who is been presented by Adi Shankara. Sankhya people accept there are different souls in real. While when we say there is only one consciousness which is obtaining in different names and forms, and that consciousness is the truth of every names and forms, they say that in every names and forms there are different souls. And one Prakriti, the Maya, the strength of the soul is one for everything. Prakriti, they say this, when we say Maya or Mithya, they say Prakriti. And the souls are being named as Purushaha. For the time being, whether you understand or not, I just want to give certain light, I want to throw some light on their vision, which is not needed for the goal of emancipation. For the liberation, we don't need all these things, but for the sake of our understanding and our peace of mind, at least we should know what they present. They present that there are different souls, and these different souls are connected with the Prakriti, and the Prakriti, when get connected with them, there is a bondage, and the soul come to know that I am in bondage and I want to get rid of this bondage. Then with the help of Prakriti itself, they come out of the bondage. This is their liberation. Prakriti can be a female and Purusha can be a male. A male and female get connected, and the male understand that I am connected with a female and I am now in a bondage. And with the help of the female itself, the Prakriti itself, this male, that Purusha, the soul, get liberated. So all the actions of the female will be directed towards the liberation of the male or the Purusha. That is why these philosophies are very much confused for us. First of all, We disagree with their vision that there is no so much souls, and this verse says that one akasha, one space being divided into different pot spaces. This is the reality. And when there is some impurities in one pot space, that will not get connected with other pot spaces. We already know that. I gave you some explanation in the last class. Another thing is that there is no valid means of knowledge for their existence of different souls in the creation. We have a valid means of knowledge, what we call Vedanta, the scriptures. It says that in the Vedanta, the topic is presented as the one and only Atman, Brahma, Ekameva Advitiyam. There is only one consciousness which is in different names and forms. We have a valid means of knowledge. Pramanam asti eva. For them, there is no pramana, there is no valid means of knowledge in any scriptures or any books where there are different souls are there existing in the world. This is a big argument what Shankara present in front of them. And Shankara gives a lot of other things also. Another thing is that Purusha is Nirvishesha for them. Nirvishesha means free from all attributes like big, small, black, thick, thin, etc. etc. When something is Nirvishesha, listen carefully. When the all souls are Nirvishesha, how you are going to identify one soul from another soul? We identify ourselves through some Vishesha. There is a black mark in the right cheek. There is a wounded scar in the forehead. There is another mark in the right eye. Something like that, in the Aadhaar card, etc. etc. These are all Vishesha, specific attributes. For Sankhyas, their Atman, their soul is Nirvishesha. How they understand the difference between one Atman and another Atman when everything is Nirvishesha? An intelligent question asked by Shankaracharya in his Siddhanta. To count 1 and 2 and 3, you should know that there are different Atmas. When it is Nirvishesha, how can you count 1 plus 2 plus 3? So this is also a strong counterpart of the Siddhanta. Shankara asked these questions, etc., etc. And another group of philosophy is there, school of philosophy is there. They are called Vaisheshika or Nayayika. First school of philosophy is called Sankhya, which I already mentioned you. Second school of philosophy is called Nayayika or Vaisheshikas. Vaisheshika says that everything is particles, paramanu. That is also Nirvishesha for them. Big confusion, correct? Something already Nirvishesham becomes dyad, triads, they come together, 1 plus 1, 2, dyads, then 1 plus 1 plus 1, 3, triads. Similarly, a name and form is being created. This is how they say. And Atma having attributes, Sukham, Dukkham, etc., etc. There is a category called existence, non-existence, prior existence, past existence, etc. They believe that these things are existing in the world. All these confusions are there along with them. They are called Nayayika or Vaisheshika, who accept particles are the primary thing for the creation and it is the only truth to be understood. Here also Shankara raises a lot of counter question towards them which doesn't have any answer, which don't have any answer by them. First thing is Nirvishesha. When a particle is free from all kinds of attributes, how a particle can join together with another particle which is formless also. There the question didn't get the answer from them. And also there cannot be any form from the formless particle. From the nirvishesha particle, from the free from attributes, particle which is attributeless cannot become the base for another thing which has form. These are all confusing, which we are not going to enter into that. Suppose if you are ready to study intentional, then we will take the entire class live, not in online, offline. Directly you can come to me, or we can have classes, some like camps, etc., etc., and we will discuss everything what is told by Adi Shankara, the commentator, towards their vision. And one of the other fallacies also I would like to mention you. They believe that before the existence of pot, there is a non-existence of pot. Prag abhavaha asti. They say that. That means before my existence, before my coming towards this world, my non-existence were existing here. From the destruction of non-existence only I came out. What a pity for to tell all these things to you, They believe that there is a non-existence of pot. This is from this destruction of non-existence of pot, the existence of pot started. Then when the pot get destroyed, then another existence starts. Pragabhavaha pradvamsabhava. The destruction of the pot, the existence of the destruction of the pot started. The existence of the destruction of the pot started. Pradvamsa abhav. Give up all these things. These are all these things will make a lot of confusion. Just one thing you have to keep in the mind regarding Vaisheshika or Nayayikas. One who believe particles are the main element in the creation. Absence of something is the opposite or opponent of the presence of something. Pot is there. The opposite sentence of the pot is not there. Absence of something is the opponent or the opposite sentence of presence of something. Correct? Gadaha asti. Pot is. Gadaha nasti. There is no pot. They cannot exist together. There is no coexistence of Gada asti and Gadaha nasti. Pot is there, pot is not there. We cannot say together. Now come to the words or the sentences of this Vaisheshika. Non-existence of pot is an absence of pot. And he said this absence is existing. How can I say that? Two opposite words cannot coexist together. Bhavam and abhavam. Gata abhavaha asti. This is their sentence. Gata asti. Pot is there in English. Gada abhavaha asti. There is an non-existence existing here of pot. How can existence and non-existence come together? It's a very, very bluffing statement. There cannot be absence of something and existence of something cannot be there. absence of pot is there is a bluffing statement. So all these things are lot of confusions. It can make lot of confusions if we study. So we need to understand what is their philosophy. For the sake of understanding, Shankara presented this. And remember, this section is fully making us understanding by applying the logics. So we already completed this verse completely in the last class. Just I mentioned you what is Purva Pakshi. Different types of philosophies were existing in the time, and they made a lot of confusion, and there are a lot of people following them. Towards them, Shankara made his presentation of Vedanta, and the majority understood this is the reality, and they converted themselves to this Vedanta following. They followed Vedanta, but a few people stick even now in Dvaita. Dvaita means duality exists in the world. All other religion, apart from Advaita Siddhanta, apart from us, all Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, everything except duality. Even Sankhya, Vaisheshika, all people are dualistic people. What is duality? Other than me, lot of things are existing in the world, which is a biggest mistake, which can create lot of troubles and worries and problems. So that Vedanta is the only science which talks about the reality, what is non-duality, while other religions and other scriptures, apart from our traditional scriptures, talks about duality exists in the world. So logically, we need to prove that non-duality is the reality. One need to accept that. For the sake of that understanding, we should present duality never existed through logic. So we will go to the next verse to make more clear about there is no duality even though we perceive. I will read the verse and I will give you the meaning and we will go through the bhash. Okay. रूपकार्यसमाख्याश्च विद्यन्ते तत्र तत्र वै आकाशस्य न भेदोऽस्ति तद्वज्जीवेषु निर्णयः रूपकार्यसमाख्याश्च विद्यन्ते तत्र तत्र वै आकाशस्य न भेदोऽस्ति तद्वज्जीवेषु निर्णयः form rupam everybody have form. A human being has a form. This is how we identify another human. Form is there. Monkey has a form. Bull has a form. A tree has a form. This is how we see this is a jackfruit tree. This is a rudraksha tree. This is a mango tree. This is a jamun tree. This is a blackberry tree. All these things we identify because of the form. Should we accept the form? No. Why? Form is clear mithya. Mithya means seems to be existing, but in reality, if we analyze, if we observe, if we put an inquiry on that, it resolves into something, some other thing. So that is why form is a mistaken identity. There is no such thing called form. Rupa, karya, activities. Karya means one's own responsibilities, one's own duties, one's own actions, how they perform everything, Karya. Here the karyam is activity. In other places, it will be understood as product, cause and effect, like that effect, product, etc., etc. Here we need to know that karyam means activities. We are all performing different types of actions. Even though in the ashram itself, there are more than 100 or 120 people, everybody have their own way of doing the same thing. Somebody may chant loudly the Gayatri Japa, somebody chant in Upamshu, somebody Manasikam. Manasikam means they will not even show any external indication that they are chanting. Manasikam. So everybody have different types of actions. From that itself, we can find out who came and who went. You know, so karyam is different from one to another. Samakhyaha, names are different for one to one. Human being, monkeys, blue whales, anacondas, cobras, penguins, different names and forms. When I say the name, you will get a form inside your mind. So, Rupa Karya Samakhyaha, even though these three factors are different for everybody, Vidyande Tatra Tatra Vai, wherever you see in the creation, these three things are different from one to another. Even in one family, one will be a psycho, one will be a mature, one will be lazy, one will be slowly doing the things, some will be smart, but still they are one single family, correct? Vidyande Tatra Tatra Vai. How they are different due to their own samskara, past impressions, what they have done in the past life. Our activities will be more clear. Our activities will be more shiny. Our activities will be enjoying by others when we have good connection with noble people and straightforward thinking people. When we don't have connection with all these type of people, our activities will be not shining. It's a fade activity because we don't have proper guidance from a real person. That is why activities are important. In order to in order to involve in a proper work or proper action, we need the guidance of good people in our life. Satsangam in Sanskrit it is called having connection with a good person. We study good things from them and we put out all the old and unwanted activities from our mind. When a new activity enters in the mind, the old activities which is useless should go from our mind, correct? For example, we will be sleeping up to 7 o'clock. We don't wake up at early morning, 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock. Suddenly you got connected with a noble personality who told about the features of waking up early in the morning. And he gave a lot of tips and features and gave more information regarding the benefits of waking up early in the morning. Then you slowly start up to wake up early in the morning. You may skip once in 5 days, but no problem. 5 days you are waking up early morning, 5:30 or 4 o'clock. So slowly we started our daily routine according to the reality. Thus, we will get the fruits. We will be yielding benefits. When we start early waking up, we give up going to sleep at late night and waking up early after the sunrise. We give up that when we wake up early in the morning. This is how, when we study good qualities in our life, we give up all kinds of loose qualities, bad qualities in our life. It may take time sometimes because it will be existing with you for several births. Attraction towards male, attraction towards female, all these things by Devatam only, by the God's blessing only, one can deal with that. It's not very easy, even if you are informed by somebody. Sometimes, even if you get lessons, still we invoke our own past impressions and get into connected with the world and people. Some lessons may be there, still we get connected with others. So, karyas are different. Everybody have different action in their life. Rupa karya samadhya. Yandi tat. They are all different from one to one. Tatta tatra. But the content of everything, agashasya bedosti. The space inside the pot is not indivisible. They are not divided, even though you see different spaces in different pots. In reality, they are not divided. Only the pots are the different pots are the due to the different presence of different pots, we feel that different spaces are there. Similarly, in the creation, one and only consciousness going in and through all kinds of species and all kinds of sentient and insentient things, which we come to know from the scriptures only. That is why scriptures are valid means of knowledge. No other evidence, no other means of knowledge can help you to know this. Direct perception will astray you. In direct perception, we accept duality is true because I see separately tree from my life. I see my father separately from my body. I see birds and insentient things like pot, vessels, ornaments, etc., different from my body. So, direct perception will only help you to accept the duality. And the duality need not to be taught because it's there already in your experience. So, pot is a thing separate from me. The world is separate from me. So, the entire confusion will get deep rooted in one's mind because you deal with the dualistic things. That is why logically one needs to understand there is no duality existing in the world, even though we perceive or we enjoy or we experience. Reality is non-duality is the real fact. Then how a a good piece of cake gives some happiness in my life? Happiness exists in one's own mind. Happiness is the essential nature of consciousness. If the cake has happiness, why at the age of 90 somebody is given up eating cake, even though it is yielding some happiness in you while eating? Why not everybody is enjoying cake? Thus, we give the idea that secondary things have happiness. A family want to get married their daughter. Another family want to get married their son. So this family want to give up the daughter to their son. Their son want to take that daughter from their family. Even though their son and the daughter are the most wanted happiness in their family. But only giving up the daughter only they will get more happiness. If the son get that girl in his marriage, then they are more happy. So all these things are variable, different standpoint. subject to change. There is no such happiness in anything, whether in your nephew, whether in your grandson, whether in your cycle, whether in your bike, whether in your new car, whether in your new hat, new anything. It seems to be yielding some happiness in you while you are having them. In reality, they don't contain any happiness outside. The happiness which is already inside you in the form of consciousness reflects through that medium, what is called as a secondary object in front of you. This happiness go to that medium and reflect, and you come to know that there is some happiness inside that. Like this, logically, one need to understand about everything. So, vidyande tatra tatra vai, even though every name, form, and activities are different from one another, from one and another, there is no different from their content, where they are being carried. What is their base? There is no difference in their base. Na bedahasti. Tadvad jiveshu nirnayaha. One should see, one should discriminate, one should assimilate regarding the nature of jiva also, regarding the nature of souls also. If you admitted yourself before the knowledge that everybody is different, then you change your vision or you change your attitude from this example. Even though I perceive different names and forms, sentient and insentient, in reality, there is only one content for all this modification of names and forms. Just as water is in the form of waves, water is in the form of bubbles of the waves, water is in the form of everything in the world. Water is the content of the ocean. Water is the content of the waves. Water is the content of everything which is appearing in the waves. Similarly, the whole world seems to be seems to be different. Still, the content of the entire creation is one and the same. Tadva jiveshu nirnaya. One should assimilate. One should conform with oneself based on the scriptures by the teaching of traditional teachers. One should confirm that the content of Father and Son is one and the only reality, which is eternal consciousness, Brahman, the one and only consciousness. This is the meaning of the verse. We will go through the Bhashya. Yadha iha akashe ekasmin gada karaka apavaragadi akashanam alpatvam अल्पत्वमहत्वादि रूपाणि विद्यन्ते तथा कार्यम् उदाहरण धारणा शयनादि समाख्याश्च गड आकाश करक आकाश इत्यादि इत्याद्याः तत्कृताश्च भिन्नाः दृश्यन्ते. One in one single space, ekasmin akashe, ekasmin iha akashe, ekasmin घटकरक अपवरगादि आकाशानाम अल्पत्व महत्वादि रूपाणि विद्यन्ते. Karakam, apavaragam, all are very big pots in different shapes. You know, in South India, it's very famous, this. pot music, gatham. They say gatham. In Carnatic music, one pot is also part of the South Indian Carnatic traditional music. Very beautiful to listen along with the music. Very beautiful. How they play, you see in the YouTube. Music with gatha, very beautiful. But some gadas are big to make fermentation of grapes, to cook bigger, not like the musical pot. So different pots are there which are in big and small. They have big space and small space. Alpatva mahatva. Big spaces also there. Mahatva. Big spaces also there. Alpatva. Small space also there. They different each other. Tada karyam udaga aharanadi aharana dharana shayanadi. Karyam means activities. Udaga aharanam. Holding the water. Adharanam, keeping inside. Shayanadi, samakyaha, cha, staying in a place, everything is different. Gadakasha, Karakakasha, Ityadyaha. So there will be a big pot space, there will be a small pot space, etc., etc., even though it is told. Actually, one single space being divided into small space and big space according to the presence of the pot. Similarly, in the creation, one single consciousness being divided into different things like chair, mobile, building, sun, trees. Different things are there, sentient and insentient. In reality, it is just like a movie appearing in a white screen. White screen is the reality, and all other things appearing due to the technology are unreal. Similarly, creation is also unreal. The one and only thing all the creation appears in which base that content is the only real. Binnaha drishyante. They seems to be different from each other. Tatra tatra vai vyavahara vishayaha ityartha. For what empirical activity they are used, according to that they differ. There are bigger pots to show for the exhibition appearance in front of some houses. Big pots are kept up to the tall of a human being, up to the height of a human being. There are some other pots, even to keep the trees in the top of their roof. It's very big. Nowadays, pots are replacing by the plastic pots. So it can stay back. It can you can handle. You can easily you can handle. All these qualities made the pot to go outside. But I will tell you one thing: pot cooking is crucial. The taste can retain. Aluminium, steel, or indalium, any metal or iron, any metal, take sometimes the taste of the real vegetable or whatever you cook. In India, there is a temple called Jagannatha, and it is situated in the seashore called Puri in Bhuvaneshwar, Odisha. Daily for that Lord, 64 dishes are being served as the offerings. And all these dishes are cooked in big pots, almost like height of a human being. And they will be taken in front of the deity and offered to the Lord first, and they will be distributed for the devotees who are there in the temple. If you want more, you can pay and you can buy more, which dish you like. Very sweet, very tasty, very tasty. Every dish will compete with each other in taste. All are cooked in mud pots early in the morning. Leafy vegetable, root vegetables, everything. Fruits, even the rice, also 11, 12 varieties. Sweet rice, dal sweet rice, spicy rice, imli rice, tamarind rice. All are cooked in vegetables. All are cooked in mud pots. You have to see. After this offering, these mud pots are destructed and they are sent into the factory where the pots are being created. They again get recycled and new pots are being there. I just remember Puri Jagannatha. You will be famous, the center of ISKCON, etc., etc. But fine. Once in the life, you have to visit and eat that prasada. We will see. And pots have different empirical activities, even though Sarve ayam akashe rupadi betakrita vyavaharaha na paramarthaha eva. Sarve sarvo ayam akashe. All these pots which are different in size and activities and having the name also different, but they are all situated in one single akasha, one single space. Rupadi Rupadi Bedakrataha Vyavaharaha. They get the name according to their activities, empirical dealings. If you are using for the music, then it's called musical pot. When you use for cooking, cooking pot. Vyavahar, empirical activities will decide their names. Even we also know he's a teacher, he's a yoga teacher, he's a runner. According to the activity, we consider Vyavaharaha na paramarthaha eva. In reality, there is no difference in anything. They are all one and the same based on one single content. Paramartadaha tu akashasya na bedaha asti. In reality, there is no difference in the space, even though there are different spaces appearing. Nacha akasha beda nimittaha vyavaharaha asti antarena. Here, space is not the reason for their different activities. See, it is told. Paramartadaha, in reality too, indeed, Akashasya na Vedaha asti, Naja Akasha Veda Nimittaha. That is not the reason because their spaces are different from one to another. Because of that only the activities are different. Not that Asti Antarena Para Ubadi Kritam Dwaram. Ubadi, the medium. In which medium the space is appearing, according to that, it will get a name. Upati, as though appear as reality, but it is not real. Samivastita vastuni swiyan dharman athadadi idi upadi. Upa is equal to samipa. Upa means in Sanskrit a prefix and it will govern for certain words. Upa means samipa, nearest. Adhi means adhiyate. Transfer their features and their attributes to the nearest thing is called ubadi. For example, spatika, the white shining jewel, which is colorless. If you keep a red paper behind that, the redness of the paper will be transferred into this colorless jewel. Now, the red paper is Ubadhi, and the jewel, even though it is colorless even now, it seems to be having some color when we look from far behind. Bit far we go and see, the colorless jewel will be appearing in a red color. So, transferring its own qualities towards the nearest thing, and that person will get the name Ubadhi. The body is a Ubadhi. Why? Body needs to be survived through breathing. Body need food. After the class, I will also eat food. We need food. Everybody need food. So, food, water, breathing, all these things we need. But we attribute all these things, I am eating. In reality, I am Paramartha Brahman, which is free from Chut Pipasa, hunger and thirst. Still, I say I am eating. I want some water. The consciousness is free from all kinds of hunger and thirst. Consciousness is free from formless, free from all forms. Still, I am this human body, we say. This is how Ubhadi, the human body, transfer all these qualities into the formless Brahman. So, Paramarthadaha tu Akashasya na Vedaha asti. There is no Veda, there is no difference for any space, even though they appear different. Nacha Akasha Veda Nimittaha Vyavaharaha asti Antarena Para Ubadi Kritam Dwaram. Due to the mediums, due to the Ubadis, everybody have different names. Yata Yedad Tadvatiha Upadi Veda Kriteshu Jiveshu. Just as in the pot spaces, they are different, even though seems to be, there is no difference between any spaces, whether it is big or small. In the same manner, one need to take whether you are a police officer, whether there is a tailor, whether there is a person who is a swimmer, whether there is a teacher. These names are different and it will be useful while dealing in the empirical realities. But in reality, there is no different at all. There is no different. In reality, there is no different in the same manner of thought spaces. Yata yedad. Similarly, in this manner, tadvad iha ubadi veda kriteshu. Even though the different human bodies do different activities, jiveshu, all these individual souls, gadagashasthaniyeshu should be taken as the limited spaces of pots which are having big spaces and pots, small spaces. So Atmasu Nirupanat, by looking upon through the example, by analyzing, keeping the meaning of the example, we come to the reality. Buddhimadbihi, by the wise people, Nirnayaha Nishchayaha, they ascertain this is the reality between each and every individuals who are different each other. This is what is told here. By the wise people, they will know who is wise, who has proper guidance from the traditional teachers, who know what is the reality behind the world and people. They are called wise people. It's not that who can say 246 multiply 246 into that. They are not wise. They are intelligent in empirical reality. We are talking about the wise people, means who come to know the reality behind everything, sentient or insentient. The one and only reality is the supreme consciousness, which is eternal, birthless. Nanu, okay, I understood the meaning. Tatra, in this matter, paramarthakrataha eva, if it is real, gadadi agasheshu rupa karyadi beda vyavaharaha iti. No, if I say it is real that empirical reality is real, then we need to contend and we need to bring the logic and make them understand that difference is not at all there. Only seeming difference between different pots and pot spaces are there. Na edadasti, it is not existing at all. There is no difference between the pot. Why? Yasmat. Because of what? I will read the verse and I will give you the meaning. Na akashasya ghatakasho vikara avayavo yatha naivatmanah sada jivo naivatmanah sada jivo vikara avayavo yatha. Once more I will read. Na akashasya ghatakasho vikara avayavo yatha naivatmanah sada jivo vikara avayavo yatha. The supreme space, which is the ultimate consciousness, don't have any parts to become different parts like pot spaces. Space is one and only, which is formless. Similarly, the consciousness is only one and same. There is no modification of the bigger space into small space. There cannot be modification. There cannot be parts also. A big understanding we need, which will be dealt in the next class, just to understand. The supreme consciousness is free from modification. The supreme consciousness is free from all kinds of parts. You cannot count as part. It is partless. It is already formless. What is the point of saying partless? A formless entity cannot have parts. So I am a partless, unmodified Brahman, supreme consciousness. Naiva Atmana Sada Jivaha. Similarly, the individual will also should be concluded, should be understood. No vikaraha, no modification, no parts. It is free from modifications, it's free from parts. Tata, in that manner. A big discussion and big understanding we need. Maybe there can be some network trouble. We will stop the class now. We will we will see the explanation of this verse in the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayandam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Gobrahmanebhya Shupamastu Nityam Loga Samasta Sudhino Bhavantu Kale Varshadu Parjanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Sandhu Nirbhayaha Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om